Oh my god!
What's up?
Yo, I got this text. It says, surprise for you behind your dorm. X marks the spot. Guess who? I don't know who said this.
I don't know either, but let's go.
Yeah, let's go! Come on! Hey. Text says from behind the door.
Right.
Okay. Well, here goes nothing.
Amy, I found something!
What?
Yeah, come up here.
Okay. You really did?
Yeah.
You really did?
Yeah, positive.
Where?
It's over here. Come here. Oh.
Okay. Okay. I'm okay. The Loveville High finale is here.
Wow. What a way to announce it.
I think it.
Yeah.
Yes, so dramatics aside, episodes 8 and 9 came out this past Monday, and it was a pretty monumental occasion. I mean, it had been 5 weeks since episode 7, and I think we were all just sitting on pins and needles. So let's get into the recap of episode 8. Alright, this is going great. Let me tell y'all about episode 8. So episode 8 was titled The Big Dive, and we have our last new character. Her name is Katrina.
Hi, my name's Katrina.
Remember that meme? That was funny. It wasn't? Okay, so Katrina is played by Katherine Gallagher, who has been in Broadway musicals such as Spring Awakening and Jagged Little Pill. And I understand the Jagged Little Pill one, because she does sound like Alanis Morissette, so you go, girl. She originally wasn't going to go to prom, but she changed her mind, and she's found on the bleachers by her brother, Corey. And Corey is telling her how she and this guy, Troy, would have torn up the dance floor. And this is where I have to apologize. I made a joke in my conspiracy theory video about, oh, Madison and Seth are ghosts, and the goth girl, who happens to be Katrina, that Seth likes, would totally go for that. Goth people like dead things, right? Yeah, I'm very sorry that I said that. I really am, because it turns out that Troy is Katrina's old boyfriend who died because he got drunk, went into a swimming pool, and hit the bottom. And that's really sad and heartbreaking. So, again, very sorry. And they also talk about, they being, Corey and Katrina, talk about how hard it was for them growing up, and their mom being an addict, and their dad not being around, and Corey, coming out as gay, which wasn't easy, which is very sad. And it seems like they really just have each other, which is sweet. And their bond is really good, and it's very nice. And, Katrina kind of makes a jab at Corey for getting with Gendrix, so quickly, but I mean, Kodrix is bae, so, and Corey sings a song to his sister called Unbroken, and it's about how sad things happen, but she's not broken. And they're in this new town, they're new to Loveville, and life can still go on and be great. Now, what's cool about this is that the song, melody-wise, is the same as the end credits at the end of every episode. So,
step in the open, 'cause deep inside you's a part unbroken.
okay, now I'm gonna play the end music.
In that episode, Katherine Gallagher was Katrina, Isaac Powell was Corey,
So yeah, Unbroken and the end credit music are the same. But why? What is Eric Svekar trying to tell us? And I thought a lot about this. The end credit music, which you just heard, it's end credit music, but there are these tunes of hope. It doesn't sound like the most finished end-all thing. And with new beginnings comes hope. So I want to backtrack for just a quick second. The end of episode 1 is Jane and Johnny getting to the prom. And then the music hits. And it's basically a way of being like, this is the end, but stay tuned, because a new thing is about to begin. Then we got episode 2, where it's all Kodrix music. And it's the same thing. It's like, look, this is the end of this episode, but something's about to begin for Corey and Gendrix. It's the end of the episode, but the story isn't over. Episode 3. Now, episode 3 has also another musical thing in it that sounds unfinished. There's this brassy section where the final note isn't played to the end. But then we have the end credit music. If you listen to episode 3, which you should, Chas goes into labor. Her water breaks. It's the end of the episode, but it's a beginning for her new chapter in life. Even if she gives the child up for adoption, she's transitioning into someone who is giving birth to a live being. She's going from a teenager at prom to someone who's giving birth. Quite the transition, right? So there's that. Then there's episode 4 with Amanda and Kyle, and it ends with Amanda pushing Kyle off the roof. And that music always has that what's next kind of feeling. And then we go into episode 5 where we see Kyle again and he and Noah beat each other up. And then it's like it's the end of the episode, but you still want to hear more. Episode 6 ends with Amanda realizing her romantic preference. She thought she was aromantic for a second. But then the ending, she realizes she's not, but you want to keep listening. And episode 7, the same thing. Like, it's like, oh, are Madison and Seth together now? What is? And now we're here. Now we're at episode 8. And what is Unbroken about? It is about the fact that, yes, a life has ended, but a new chapter in Katrina's life could just be beginning. That music, in my mind, is Eric's way of telling us something will end in your life, but something is just about to begin. And that's what makes Unbroken so moving. And I think that was really clever on Eric's part. And it's the musical story, my friends. And it's a huge tearjerker as well. So it kind of gives Katrina a little more hope. And it's just a beautiful moment. And then the end credit music plays. And then it stops. And you see Madison and Seth about to go dance from under the food table. And then it plays again. We have the end, we have a little bit of a beginning, and then it ends again. And that, my friends, is episode 8. A true example of an ending and a beginning, with the end music taking a key role. I'll see you for the finale. Wait, I'm sorry. There was a part that I forgot. Oh, I was just kidding. That was not the end. Something big happens. Prom court is announced. Now, the prom king is Gendrix, but I think we need to change the name for that because Gendrix is genderqueer, so I think let's just go with Prom Bowie, which you would have to listen to episode 2 to get. So Gendrix is Prom Bowie, and Jane from episode 1 is Prom Queen. And they're not that familiar with each other, but they have this conversation about how maybe they'll run into each other as adults, and they talk about, I'll have this husband by then, and I'll have this husband and this many kids, and they talk about second husband in the Marines, and maybe I'll marry someone who already has kids, and it's a very goofy conversation. But after that conversation, Jane faints. And a fainting incident was mentioned in episode 1. So there's something going on here. There is something going on here. Stay tuned for the episode 9 recap. Okay, all right, it's time. Let's get into the last episode, episode 9. Okay, so, the finale episode. The finale episode is definitely a callback to the first episode, and it's just Jane and Johnny. And Jane has recovered from her fainting spell, and she and Johnny are outside the prom. And if you listen to the speech or the conversation between her and Gendrix in the 8th episode, they were talking about, oh, I'm gonna have this husband and that husband and this and that. If you realize something, if you were paying attention, she doesn't mention Johnny, and that's the thing, like, she realizes that she fainted here, just like in that other dance mentioned in episode 1, because she was thinking about her future with Johnny. And she realizes that the fairy tale that she wanted might not actually be what she wants or what is best for real life. And she starts singing about how they had known each other. God, this is so freaking cute. Since they were 8. And they had snack time together and would watch The Incredibles. And I have a childhood friend like this, so it hit me. And when they were 10, he asked her to the prom, and she didn't even know what that was, but she was going to steal her mother's clothes. And then they turned like 15, 16, and he asked her for real, and it was beautiful, and here they are together now. And like, originally she wanted to keep dating in college, and he wasn't sure, and now it's the opposite. And she sings about what we can have versus what is ideal. And sometimes it is just the best thing to move on. And like, the thing is, some people do stay with their high school sweethearts, but a lot of people don't, because people grow up. And I'm not saying don't stay with your high school sweetheart. That is on you. That is on you. Like, whatever works for you, great. But God, it was beautiful. And then they decide to just live in the moment. And they have this, like, special moment and special dance. And, you know, at least they're able to be mature about it, guys. And then they decide to go back in. And this episode was only 9 minutes, but it was jam-packed with emotion. And, you know, not every ending is gonna be super happy, but Jane says this isn't sad. And it was just breathtaking. Like, I had to stop in the middle of the school lawn and just cry. Because love is just something that's so beautiful, and it's not perfect. But if you can find someone that can love you for who you are and everything like that, then just go for it. But yeah, you know. Sorry. It just has me thinking about, like, what I went through in high school, and I'm not even gonna go there. But I just want to say that David and Eric, thank you. Thank you for taking us through this journey and just letting us all have whatever kind of experiences that maybe some of us didn't get to have. So, yeah. Guess y'all are love experts. And that is the end. And that concludes Loveville High, everyone. This is probably the best podcast I've listened to, and I'm sure all of you have found it as memorable and awesome as I have. Yes, okay, I was crying. I was crying because I actually do talk to the creators, David Zelnick and Eric Spakar, on the reg, and they're just complete gems of human beings. David has been so great to let me use audio clips. I did that in my first Loveville High fan video, and I did it here, and he's just so sweet and nice whenever I have questions or whatever. And Eric was actually a former teacher of mine. He was the music director in a theater program I had been in for 2 years. And here are the embarrassing photos. Oh yeah, those were some of the best days. I mean, he was really motivational and gave really good criticisms and is just amazing at everything he does. And yeah, so that's part of the reason why I was crying. And also, as I said before, David Zelnick is freaking amazing. I mean, you guys have heard his lyrics. They're hilarious, and it goes well with the music, and I just love them so much. So, yes, thank you, David and Eric, for being your wonderful selves, and thank you for being awesome and sparkly. This is David, and this is Eric, everyone. So yeah, you guys are amazing, and huge shout outs to Haley Kilgore, Connor Ryan, Mason Alexander Park, Isaac Cole Powell, Ryan Redmond, J. Armstrong Johnson, Troy Awada, Ali Stroker, Harrison Chad, Giselle Jimenez, Catherine Allison, Andrew Durand, and Catherine Gallagher for being some of the most amazing actors and singers I have ever heard. And I hope that all of you, whether you acted or were any creator or whatever, you gotta start writing those award acceptance speeches now. So now I have to get a life, which is gonna be very difficult, but thank you all for watching my videos, but go to iTunes, any podcast app, even YouTube, and listen to Loveville High, because you won't regret it. Keep sparkling, everyone.